Oh, gosh. Most of our young life.
Yeah, I should.
All over that area. Father was a professional soccer player. Argentina, yeah, he was like this. Maybe a little bit. He used to bring it up Franklin, to Maple Avenue, and all the places.
Because I never saw that bakery before, so I was shocked to visit my brother. I mean, it was in another station before.
Can the call-in users identify yourselves? I think you're all unmuted.
Greg Chandler.
Maybe they can't hear me. There's the volume.
Lorraine Stubbs.
Herb Watson.
Can you hear me?
Andra Millard,
Yeah.
Hello. Can you hear me?
we can.
This has not happened before.
Maybe I should have called in. Mhm.
We're using my audio connection. So we should be fine. I've never used this room before, so this is new to me. We may have to use the call-in number on the phone. Marlo, can you hear me?
Marla's muted. There she goes.
This is not happening. Can you hear me? You went dark. I'm sorry. Okay, we can't hear anybody. So could you talk on your computer? Although it doesn't look like you're connected. You're muted right now. Oh, okay. And then see if other people can hear you if they can't hear me. Tell them just to hold on while we get everyone. We may have to turn off this for them. Are you back yet? You're not on. I think I'm gonna have to call in.
Ting.
What?
It's called Ting, T-I-N-G. It runs on Sprint.
Huh. Wonder if anyone else is having problems. Mr. Hale, can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Okay, we can't hear you, but you can hear me. Okay, I can see you talking.
I'm here. Hello.
Maureen, can you hear me? This is Andra. She can't hear me.
No. Might have fallen off my screen now.
Maybe I should
We're
just
having a
call.
little bit of audio problems. I'm sorry for anyone who's listening. I can't hear you. I'm talking to Marlo to try to resolve the issue. Oh, there you are. You're now on the screen. But I cannot hear you. You may have to go into my office. I'm gonna try calling on the speaker phone. Do you mind sitting on the phone with me while we try to do this? Marlo, do you mind sitting on your phone while I try to connect? No, cannot hear anything on the computer. Yeah, so there's
Maybe we should just call in.
at least one other person. Yeah.
Welcome to WebEx. Enter your access code or meeting number followed by pound. Enter your attendee ID or the numeric meeting password followed by pound.
Oh, that's a terrible sound.
Better? Can anyone hear me?
This is Lorraine. I can hear you.
Okay. We're sorry we haven't been able to hear anybody through the computer.
Well, you're still breaking up.
Is there feedback?
Yes.
Is it bad?
Not now, it isn't.
Okay. Well, let's come up. Okay, so if anyone who's not speaking can mute their phone or their computer, whichever, and unmute when you go to speak, that makes for a much clearer meeting. And then if we can identify who's on the line, that would be really great. We can see that we have Marlo and the recording secretary and Lee Hale, who's one of the applicants, right, for 1224 Worthington Ridge, is that?
No, for 724.
For 724, oh, there it is, for 724 Worthington Ridge.
Yeah, Greg
Chandler.
Okay, so we have both applicants. I see we have Andra Mellard, one of the commission members, and then if the other call-in users, Lorraine already spoke as one.
Yes.
And is Herb there?
Is
Yes.
Herb on the?
Yes, I'm here.
What about Bill?
Bill Sink? I guess Bill's not on the line. Who else do we have?
I know.
Who was that?
I don't know. Is that Andra?
That was Lorraine.
No, I just unmuted mine.
Oh, Andra, okay.
Yeah.
We can see you, though, on the screen. It must be through the computer.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Anyone else who's on the line, please identify yourself. I don't know who the other callers are. So we have a quorum.
We do have a quorum.
Yeah.
So shall we, this is Susan, I'm at the town hall, we're gonna call the meeting to order. I don't think we need to take a roll call, because we've already done that, right?
Yeah. So I don't have well, I'll have to run to my office to get the roll call. Anyway, I'll do that again shortly.
All right. So, I'd like to call the meeting for the Historic District Commission for, December, 7th to order. Now, the first applicant we have is for a certificate of appropriateness for Mr. Greg Chandler, the resident at 1224 Worthington Ridge. And Mr. Chandler, at this time, you could just unmute and you can explain your project to us.
Okay. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I have an open side porch on my property. If you're facing the house, it's to the left side. And what I'd like to do is just enclose it to make it a office/study area. My wife and I are expecting our second child, and we have 3 bedrooms upstairs, one of which is used as an office right now.
I was gonna show you the pictures.
So I'd like to, yeah, so a couple of the committee members had stopped by the house yesterday and saw it. I am a carpenter myself. I'm a contractor, and I'm going to do everything to make it look as close as possible to the house. I mean, to be quite honest, it's going to look exactly like it's already part of the house. The roof is already there. The floor is already there. All I'm looking to do is close in the walls and add some windows. I am going to use white aluminum exterior clad windows. The grills will be exactly the same as what's on the house now, 6/1, which are the original windows for the rest of the house. And then I'm actually going to trim it out with all cedar clapboard and cedar trim to make it look identical to the house.
What about the posts on the corners? Both will be gone, right?
The posts are going to be gone. I'm going to blend those in as part of the wall so that it's going to.
Okay.
I'm still going to trim it out. Like if you look at the house, it has like a frieze board on the bottom, and then it has the trim boards on the corners. I'm going to do exactly the same thing, and then the clapboard on the on the main walls around the windows.
Okay.
But I'm actually going to make my own. No, that does not. Part of the house does not have gutters on it, so I'm probably not going to add gutters because the crown molding that's there, I'm actually going to keep it to keep the decorative look.
Okay, thank you. Anything else you'd like to share?
No, I think that's it. It's a pretty simple project.
Greg, this is Lorraine. This
Yes,
is
ma'am.
Lorraine. Can I ask? Can I speak? It's Lorraine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Lorraine.
When we met with you yesterday, you mentioned something about the roof being metal, and I don't think you included that in what you wrote, but could you be clear about what you're doing with the roof?
The roof is
You
just,
said it was
it's metal
metal.
now. Yeah, it's metal now. It's getting older. It's going to need to be redone. So when I do redo it, I intend on doing it with metal roof over again. The
Okay.
house that, I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with Worthington Ridge, but there's a house down right at the corner of Sunset and Worthington Ridge that has that metal roof on its overhangs. I was going to do exactly the same as that. Yep. Yeah, I was going to do almost exactly the same roof that he did.
Okay. I just think we need to add that into this because it's not mentioned what the roofing material would be.
I don't think he plans on doing that at this point, Lorraine. This is Richard. I think he's gonna do it in the
I'm not.
future.
No, that's not going to be done until probably spring, to be honest with you. If that, even then.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that would
I
be
mean,
a
you guys
separate
could. If you want to add it onto this application, that's totally fine. It's going to get done eventually, but it's totally up to you folks, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think I would add it in so you don't have to come back in the spring.
Okay.
Okay. Can somebody just add that on, or do I need to resubmit it?
Maureen's here, I think she's adding it in.
I am, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
And that was a standing seam roof you want to do, Greg?
Yes, yeah, standing seam.
Okay.
All right, does anyone else have any other questions for Mr. Chandler?
I'm gonna go through the names, on the board to see, and then if we don't hear from you, perhaps you can, somehow signal me. I'm gonna go back to unsharing my screen for a moment so that, figure out how. Oh, we don't have video right now, so we'll see how that works. Bill Sink we found was not on the line. Andra, any further comment?
No, I have no other comments or no comments at all, to be honest with you. I'm glad that some people went out and took a look at the house, to get a better feel for what's going on. So I trust their judgment.
Thank you. Amy, I believe, is not joining us. Lorraine, any further comment?
No, I'm satisfied. You know, I was there yesterday, and, you know, I like that he's trying to, you know, have everything consistent with the existing house. And, you know, the windows will be wood, but aluminum clad on the outside. And the grids would have dimension. In fact, Greg, I think you said like it's going to be outside and inside the glass.
Yeah, it's actually called it's called a simulated divided light. So what it is it has the dividing light on the outside, a center thing in between the glass, and then on the inside as well. So it gives you the best dimensional look you're going to get out of the independent pane window.
Right.
Pam Pethagal, I don't know that we know if you're here. Are you on the line?
No.
Mr. Bennett?
Yes, I thought Greg's plan was well thought out and drawn by an architect, and he went to the expense of having it drawn by an architect. And it's very concise, and it will match his home, and I think it's a very, very well laid out and thought out plan.
Herb, any
Thank you.
further comments? Sorry.
Welcome.
No, just a quick question. You're keeping the old foundation?
Yeah, I'm gonna check that to make sure that what it is right now it's built on sonotubes, pylons that go down in. I'm going to I'm just gonna support the roof itself. I'm gonna dig down far enough to make sure that they're good. If they're not good, I'm gonna reinforce them all the way down.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be between you and the building department. Anyhow, that's not really our purview.
Yeah, no,
I suppose.
it has nothing to do with the visual of the building. But no, just so you guys know, that's what I'm a contractor, so I'm not putting anything together on my own house that won't be solid.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, anybody else? Me? I'm happy with it, I have no further questions. Do we have to go through the thing of closing it, or can we just take a vote?
You have to close the.
All right, so I'm gonna, ask for someone to ask for the public part of this meeting to be closed so we can deliberate on this COA. Mr. Bennett's right here, so will you make a motion?
Yes, I make a motion to close the public part of this for the COA voting purposes.
Do I have a second?
This is Andra, I'll
This is Herb,
second.
second.
Okay, great, Andrew, second. All right, and then, all right, so let's just deliberate. Does anyone have any issues, any further comments? Or can I entertain a motion to approve the COA as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the COA as presented.
Do I have a second? Andra?
I'll second. I was going to give that one to her, but okay.
All right.
I'll second.
All right, so let's have a vote. I say, I approve the COA.
Approve.
Richard approves. Andra?
I approve.
Herb?
Yes, I approve.
And last but never least, Lorraine?
Yes, I approve.
Okay. Well, thank you then. So, Mr. Chandler, your COA has been approved. You will get something in writing in the mail within the next week or so. And then you can approach the building department for your building permit.
Okay. Thank you very much. You all have a great holiday.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing your finished project.
I'll send you some good pictures.
Great, that'd be wonderful. Okay, so let's
Thank
move
you.
on. We're gonna reopen our hearing to entertain the next COA on the agenda. All right, and this one is the homeowners are William Quirk and his daughter Susan at 724 Worthington Ridge. And we have their contractor here today representing them, Mr. Lee Hale. Mr. Hale, you're up. So if you'd like to explain the project, I know we spoke yesterday, but just give us a
Yep.
summary.
Yes, we're stating for the record, my name is Lee Hale. I'm the owner and operator of Heald's Cabinetry and Millwork in Wethersfield, Connecticut. We're looking to restore this porch back to its existing condition. You have cut sheets of the materials to be used. We're not going to be doing anything with the facade of the roof, if you will. There's a a dormered sunburst pattern in the top of the roof plane, and the beams seem to be good along the top of the roof plane also, so we're not going to do anything with that. We're going to be replacing from the beams down, including the columns, the porch framing, the decking, the footings, in like material as we can possibly do it. I will be having the spindles custom milled as I presented to you on yesterday. I believe somebody took a photo of that.
Yes, you did.
The railings will be milled to match, and the columns we're using are fiberglass, which you have cut sheets of. Trying to think of what else is involved there. That's really, the roof is going to be replaced with like material. The roof is currently sagging in the center around that center gable detail towards the house, and we're kind of hoping that it's going to make it through this winter. We have to restructure some of the framing up there to get that back up to snuff and tie it into the house. But the roofing materials will be like in like detail to what is there or what matches the main house.
Okay. Now, we were out there, and I just note that they're going to use AZEK on the porch itself, but the
Yes,
sides.
it's the AZEK porch material, which matches dimensionally with the existing porch material.
Right, and the picture is a little deceptive of your AZEK. It's going to be the exact dimension of the porch boards that are there at this time. They'll be 3 1/8 inches.
That is correct. It matches dimensionally exactly, thickness and width.
Now, the other thing, I was just trying to see if it was in here, was the ceiling of the roof itself you're going to replace. And is that listed in the materials? Because it's a little hard.
I wanted to use a PVC material, which is, the brand name of it is Versatex Stealth Beadboard. And that most closely matches the original width and bead detail. That material comes in a 1/2 inch thickness by 6 inch wide overall dimension. What that does is it looks the part of the original, but it also cuts down on the labor because we're doing half the work to install it. And it's paintable or stainable to whatever the customer would like to do. Looks to me like, oh, there we go.
But is it listed in your thing? Because I was trying to find it.
The ceiling material is listed, I thought it was listed in the bill of materials in writing. I don't think I had samples of it.
No, not the samples, but we had talked about it at the residence, and I was just looking through your application, because since we did that for Mr. Chandler, I don't see why we can't add it to your COA today, because it's really not visible from the road at all, till you get up close. But
yes.
Does anybody have any questions about it, or questions about anything else on the certificate of application?
Yeah, Mr. Hale.
Well,
I have just two questions. One is that AZEK decking, is that tongue and groove?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And also, and this is really not our business, but I'm just looking at your specifications on your railings. How are you going to handle the fact that the town is going to be looking for a 36-inch high railing, and these spindles are 24?
I don't know as if they'll enforce that in a historic district. I routinely rebuild these porch railings in Old Weathersfield that we're replacing like to like, and they seem to let that kind of thing go. I don't know.
You might want to check with the building department.
I definitely would have to before I install something and put something together. But generally speaking, if you're replacing like with like, and building code also specifies that you only require a railing if the decking surface is 30 inches or higher to the perpendicular surface below the decking 3 feet away. So in theory, we don't even need the railing to make it pass code.
That's a good theory, but you might want to check with the building inspectors.
I will say that there is a home further down on the ridge. I can't think of the number of it. It recently sold, and they redid their whole front porch, and they got a waiver to have the spindles shorter than the standard because of the historic nature of the home and residence.
And they got that from the building department?
Yes.
Oh, good.
I think so.
Listen, this is Lorraine. Can I just add something to that? I think
Absolutely.
they had to apply to the state for that waiver, but it may be because their porch was higher from the ground.
It is. It's generally 30 inches above any stair or decking surface. In other words, along the front steps there. If the lowest point of platform, in other words, the landing of the front porch where the steps are, was any higher than 30 inches, then it would not pass Connecticut State Code. So anywhere on this porch, it's far lower from the decking surface to the ground level, anywhere around it. I've already measured all of it out. Yes. So if you measure from there out perpendicular from the porch out 3 feet away, and the grade does not fall away any lower than 30 inches, then we don't even need a railing in the first place. So there's really, it's considered more or less decorative at that point.
Is that a state code or is it a Weathersfield code?
No, that's state. That's across the board. You can look that up on the IRC anytime.
Well, I'm sure once you,
not that I'm going to try to push this issue. It would make things look far more realistic and true to the nature of the house. But if the building inspectors or building department insist on it being 30 inches high, or 36 inches high, then even then, we could even lower it down to 34, because the building code states that it has to be a minimum of 34 and a maximum of 38, if indeed it was a safety railing.
So Maureen, if they approach the building department, they would be able to advise him, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask the question, if I believe the building inspector can send up to the state for waivers. I'm not positive with all historic, that's exactly how they proceed, but I believe that's how they proceed. He asked it of the state building officer. But if it's required, if it is required to be at the code height for today, and they're not in agreement as to how high this railing is, does the commission want to comment on them making it larger, or approve it as is, and it would have to return to
I think that
become code compliant?
I would think that we could approve it as presented and let the building department sort it out for him as far as the height, because I personally don't feel that it'll be an issue, but I'm not with the building department per se, so, but I think that they could get you a waiver.
So bring it back to the commission if there's not, if they can't be as existing with the lower height, then we understand it's the current building code. Okay, just to make sure we're all understanding process.
Okay. So, Mr. Chandler, I had the wrong thing up. Mr. Hale, is there
Yes.
anything else you wanted to comment on?
No, I don't think so. I think we got it covered.
Right, because you're not going to start this project till the spring.
No, not starting until, but I, with the way this COVID thing's going with ordering materials, we want to be on the ball heading towards mid-February, maybe March, to start ordering materials for this job. Maybe, even earlier than that would be nice. It seems to me that some of these lead times on materials are going 6 to 8 weeks now.
Did anyone else have any other questions for Mr. Hale?
This is Andra, and I have a question.
Sure.
Oh,
The roof ceiling, what is the material? What is it currently now made out of? Is it wood?
It is wood right now, yeah, but it's got so much paint on it that it doesn't even look like what it's supposed to look like anymore.
And you're going to replace it with?
PVC. It's called the brand name is Versatex, and the product is called a stealth beadboard. It's the manufacturer's answer for a replacement for this type of product that's already there.
Okay, so when is that acceptable when we say like for like?
That is.
Okay.
It's about
I would question that. I'm sorry, this is Herb. I would question that point. I can understand replacing a wooden column with fiberglass and composite flooring for wood because they don't last very long on a porch. But I don't see why we're replacing wood ceilings on a porch that last a long, long time with plastic. And I made some calls today, and wood is about half the price of plastic, and it's sold in 1x6s, which is the same size dimension as the PVC strips. So I would hate to see the buildings in the district be changed to plastic for no good reason.
I agree with Herb.
Okay, I just want to state my case for that. You're telling me that that product in wood comes in a 1x6?
Yes,
Sure.
it's beadboard with a center bead. I
Yeah,
have it on my own porch. Look, I'm looking at it right now.
That's fine, but I don't believe it comes in a 1x6 form. I believe it comes in a 1x3 1/8 also, like similar to the
It
floor
comes in-
dimension.
It comes in 1x6. Minor Lumber has it for $1.06 a linear foot.
Well,
which
that's
is about
good
half
news
the
to know.
price of PVC.
Yeah, I compared my suppliers between the two, and the price was about equivalent. So, I
Well,
was
try Minor Lumber in Canton or Collinsville.
I don't,
This is Andrea again. So with this discussion, I'm with Herb on this. I have an aversion to going to plastic on this when it's a nice wood up there right now, and I think the original was wood, so, would you maybe consider going back to the wood and not doing the plastic? How do we feel on that as a commission?
well, that's not something that I would make a personal decision on, but I would ask the other commissioners to comment. I don't know anything about the difference in prices, I have to admit, and I'm not that familiar with the beadboard.
Well, let's ask Mr. Hale if he would consider doing it in wood. Would you consider that, Mr. Hale, doing it in wood instead of vinyl?
Hello, Mr. Hale, are you there?
We may have lost him. Oh, there he is.
I just got you back. I'm sorry, I lost my connection on this end.
Oh, yeah, Richard Bennett again. I have a question. Would you consider using wood instead of the vinyl beadboard?
Yeah, I actually stated that right when my internet connection cut out. I'd be happy to do either one. It really wasn't about using wood or using plastic on my part. I really it doesn't matter to me. It was the product that I was going to call out there was actually saving some labor and installation, so it would have saved the homeowner some money.
Yeah, well, as long as it
That's
comes
really
in
what
one
that's
by
really
six.
what it was about. It had nothing to do with wood or plastic.
Yeah, I got you, but you just have to paint it, obviously, but if it does come in
And
one
they
by.
might have chosen to paint plastic.
Who's that?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said they might even have chosen to paint the plastic. So,
Oh, yeah, possibly, yep.
yeah.
So you would do wood then, if we recommend or insist on the wood for the
If you want a
approval,
stipulation, if you want to stipulate the wood, that's fine. I just got to pass on the labor to them.
Okay. If there is an issue or if the dimensions are not as
1 by 6.
1 by 6 or as Herb has said is available, then you can come back to us and make another request. You know what I'm saying?
And also too, I don't think it's important whether it's in a 1 by 6 form or whether it's in a 1 by 3 1/8 form. The important details of it are how wide that beadboard detail actually is. Most of those older ones are 1 5/8 apart, and then the bead, and then 1 5/8, and then the V groove, and then the next bead. So when you add that up, it depends on whose material you're buying. If it comes in a 1 by 6 or a 1 by 3 or whatever, it's important that the details are right as opposed to the form or the roughed out billet that it was milled from.
Well, you let us know.
So this is Andrea again, and so have we just had this discussion where you will do the ceiling of the roof in wood rather than in the PVC?
Sure, I have no objections to it.
Okay,
But, it's gonna, like I said, it's up to the homeowners to pay for it, and I'm sure they won't balk at that. I just, I have to let them know, that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Oh, this is Lorraine. I had one other question. I can't really see the steps up to the porch. What are they? Are they currently wood, and how are you redoing those?
They're currently concrete cast.
Oh, okay.
It's
I can't
actually
see in the
just one large
picture.
concrete, it's one large concrete stone. That's what it is.
Oh, okay, so that's saying you're just reusing that, right?
I should be able to, there it is. It's just, it's one riser, up there. I should be able to get away with using that, without issue. The only problem is that if it won't pass code, for a step, in other words, the rise is too much, then we might have to recast it or something like that. But, like materials again.
Okay.
All right, any other questions or comments from anyone before we close the public part of the meeting? Do I have a motion to close the public part of the meeting?
I make a motion to close the public part of the meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll
This
second
is-
Lorraine.
Okay.
All right, and all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so, is there anything else anybody would like to say, or do I have somebody who would like to, make a motion concerning this COA for approval?
I will make a motion, this is Andra, to accept this COA with the noted change for the roof ceiling to be replaced with wood instead of PVC.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Well then, thank you very much, Mr. Hale. So, the homeowners will get the, certificate of application, approval in the mail. And then from there, they should turn it over to you, or it'll be in the records here, so you can just come to the town hall and pull your, permit and talk with the, building department about the railing height.
Okay.
It was really a pleasure
Thank you.
meeting you yesterday. Thank you so much for meeting us on site.
I didn't hear the first part of what you said. I'm sorry.
I said it was really a pleasure to meet you yesterday. Thank you so much for coming out to the homeowner's residence.
Okay, thank you as well.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, so, we're all back here. And so moving on with the meeting agenda, I'd like to review the, minutes of the last meeting we had, which was on October 5th. Does anyone, have any things that need to be noted?
This was Lorraine. There's just a typo in the last paragraph. It's talking about the Belfry Tower on Berlin Free Library. It actually should be more specific. It says the Belfort Tower on Worthington Ridge. It should say on the Berlin Free Library. And it's Belfry, not Belfort.
Okay, so noted. Anything else? All right, do I have a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Do I have a second?
I'll second. This is Andra.
Okay, so thank you very much. I'm sorry, and now approval. Lorraine, yes?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Andra said yes, so I say yes, so we're all set. Okay, so the next thing on the agenda is the proposed meeting schedule for next year. for 2021. Did everybody get a chance to look that over? Does anybody see any issues with the dates or anything?
I believe, this is Maureen, I believe the only alteration from the first Monday is September, where Labor Day is the first Monday, which is typical of every year.
Now, what about July 5th? Is that the Monday holiday? I don't have that.
Oh, yeah.
Might be.
Probably. Yes, that's probably a Monday holiday.
So you want to change that to the 12th? Or do you want to go back? We should go back.
That's up to the commission to determine.
So,
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. We tried to catch all the holidays.
My birthday's the 4th.
Oh,
wow.
happy July birthday.
Thank you.
Does anyone have an issue with it being July 12th? And then we
No.
amend the filing date to, the 28th?
Good with me.
All right.
This is Andra. It's good with me.
All right, so do I have a motion to approve the amended, meeting schedule?
I'll make a motion to approve the amended meeting schedule.
Do I have a second?
This is Andra. I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
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 Okay, great. All right, so now, moving on. The only other thing we had as far as old business, and I don't know if you're ready to talk about it yet, was that, thing that you guys started about the, demolition, thing. You guys,
And Herb, do you want to go ahead and some of us met, which we found out we probably shouldn't have met. Just to kind of plot how we should go about this, and then we decided individually we should be talking to other towns about their experience with this kind of thing. And I know Amy has talked to Guilford, but she's not here to report on that. And Herb, you said you had reached out to some places.
Yeah, I spoke with 3 towns, Vernon, Farmington, and Canton in West Hartford. Actually, Canton really didn't have a demolition delay. They just had a demolition delay like we have for our historic district. So they referred me to Vernon, and Vernon has a pretty aggressive historic districts, and they have a historic properties commission, and they're pretty active. But I wasn't prepared. I didn't know if you'd be talking about that. We have to get together and have another illegal meeting sometime, the 3 of us, to compare notes. One thing that impressed me, though.
hey, Herb, just one second. Maureen has a comment.
Okay, so, a subcommittee can meet. We just have to notice it as a meeting prior to the subcommittee meeting. So it can be done. You can have work sessions, and a few members can meet together. However, they just have to be noticed as a special meeting. So I can, if you give me a heads up, we can make sure that notice happens.
Okay?
So,
All right, so
Maureen.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lorraine.
How much notice is it, like our regular meetings where it has to be publicized 10 days ahead?
Your meetings actually only have to be noticed 5 days ahead, and I think it's only 24 hours for a special meeting. I'll have to check if it's a little bit longer than that.
Okay, because I think we're going to need to get together again.
I think we have to wait for a nice day when the sun is shining on our picnic table.
Yeah.
Well,
This
you know,
might be.
Go ahead.
But in the three towns I talked to, there were a couple interesting things. None of them had any special committee, had no special historic demolition review committee, as that sample ordinance we had suggested. They all used current committees they had in place, whether it was the Historic Society or the District Commission or the Properties Commission. They all used an existing committee that they had. Farmington had the most interesting situation where the other towns relied on their building department to do all the footwork. Farmington, the planning committee, has a lot of say in what the demolition delays are, and even if demolitions can occur. They seem to have, in Farmington, the planning commission has a lot of more power to actually control what happens if somebody comes in with a demolition request. But again, in some towns, anybody can call for a demolition delay. It doesn't have to be a special committee. It can be a neighbor, it can be a townsperson, it can be anybody. And some of the comments ranged that they liked having the ordinance. It was helpful, but in the end, all it did was delay, and it didn't save a demolition. It just delayed it, and in most cases, they couldn't find a happy solution to the problem.
That's interesting.
Herb, this is Richard Bennett. How do they deem to be a house to be of historical value?
Well, in those three towns, it was either 50 years old, any building or structure 50 years old, or in some towns it was 75, and the details varied a little bit, but the committee in charge could waive the delay period if they thought it wasn't. It was up to the committee to decide if it was historically significant or not. If it was on the historic register, well, that took the decision making out of it. It was something worth delaying. But it was pretty much.
So you're talking about homes not necessarily in a historic district. You're talking about homes throughout the entire town of Berlin.
Yes.
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 But this is
50
Lorraine, like,
or more. So that's 1970.
Richard, say it was this is just theoretically, but say it was a 1970 home built by some famous architect or something, there might be some reason to fight for it to survive. Some towns just go by, there is like a historic register, even in our town, like there's a survey of historic properties, and you could limit it to that, or you could be broader. But the committee would have some leeway to say, well, this house is beyond repair, or this isn't worth saving, it's not that significant. It's not like every house is going to be fought for.
Yeah, I just think you'd have to have a certain expertise to make that decision. I know I don't have it.
Well, I think this demolition delay, what it does is, the problem I'm having a lot of times with some of these houses, you're just going by the owner's say-so about the condition, and it's not like I'm allowed to bring in experts or anybody to look at it to verify. And I find like I'm bamboozled a lot of times, like, because they're just going to do what they want to do, and they're not open to having other people look at it and give opinions. So it would give us a little bit more, resources.
This is Herb again. I think the building inspector is involved in most of these demolition permits, and of course the building inspector has the right to go and inspect the property.
Well, do you want to, I mean, I appreciate the work you've done, Herb. Do you want to table this discussion until you guys get a chance to meet again?
I think it would be better.
Okay,
Yeah.
so why don't we do that? Is there any other business that we need to discuss tonight?
I can just update. This is Lorraine. I could just update on the Berlin Free Library. They have the lifts there, and they've been painting and prepping the, I don't know what you call it, the top of where the balustrade's going to go, the roofing. So I didn't get over there today to see what was happening, but I've been taking pictures, and I know some of us went to the library and did see the work that was done, and it's absolutely beautiful. So hopefully within the next few days, that'll be all restored. And
all right, well then, let's table that till the next meeting, and we'll have, the other stuff, and then we'll, hopefully, maybe the next meeting, you can share some of those pictures to us by email or whatever of the finished project.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maureen just gave me a little thing about special meetings, and it's from the things, and it says, they are held on an as-needed basis. The notices need to be posted with the town clerk at least 24 hours prior, stating the time, the place, and the business to be transacted. And nothing else except that business that is posted shall be considered at the special meeting. So you can have another special meeting.
Oh, okay. So the 24-hour thing is, that's good.
Yeah. All right.
That's reasonable.
Was there something
But
else
I don't
you
know
wanted
where
to-
we're going.
Oh,
I don't know
was
where
gonna
we're going to
say-
wind up meeting.
Maureen, did you say, like if they met during the day, are some of those meeting rooms that they set up might be available during the day, but not at night because there's so many other town commissions?
Right, well, right now, the town is encouraging us not to have any of our EP meetings,
Right.
well, on site anyhow, as
Right.
much as can be helped at all. There are a couple meeting rooms, like this one, that will, about the three of us, it's about the max this room could handle. We have another meeting room, down the hall that could handle, probably 4 to 6 people. You probably only want to have 3 meetings anyway, 2 to 3 people meeting. I think that's the.
So maybe if you decide on a date, you could talk with Maureen and see if one of these rooms at the town hall is available during the day, because at night these spaces are at a premium, plus with the current rise in the COVID cases, they're trying to limit any use of the town hall, but that might help.
So we do, we still are taking public for, by appointment, et cetera, and that's all where space allows. So, yeah, just contact me, and I'll talk to the town manager's office about a space.
Okay. But one other option, this is Lorraine, one other option is to meet at the Historical Society Museum. We've had board meetings with, we're not getting a whole lot of people there, but we spread out and wear masks and sit in the basement room where you can distance.
That's an option. All right, well, we'll let you guys work that out then. Is there anything else we need to address? Because otherwise I'll entertain a motion to end the meeting.
May I ask one question? This is Andra. Can we, maybe going forward, be able to pick up the packets at the town hall, or so we don't have to print off? Because you give nice, legal size maps or prints and things like that I can't print off at home. We just got our printer working tonight. So if we could possibly in the future pick up the packets that we're going to be discussing for the meeting, I'd appreciate that.
We're gonna, this is Maureen, as staff, we're gonna work really hard to be able to mail them as well, but of course, the town would appreciate any and all of the commissions where we have people do stop in to pick up their packets as opposed to have them mailed, for those commissions that are still getting them mailed. That is a very viable option.
Okay, well, I'll be more than happy to pick mine up.
But we'll do our best to
Well, would you
mail
leave them
them.
outside? Because, I mean, you can't really get into the town hall during the day, can you?
During the day, you can call one of our offices and we could let them in. It is easier if we know in advance someone's coming, but we are leaving, like, if a contractor or a homeowner needs a copy of their plot plan or a copy from our files, we'll put it in an envelope and tape it to the front door, for people to pick up. But again, we're working harder and harder every month
Well,
to.
can we do something where we
Slow.
get the idea of what the COAs are closer, earlier than the meeting time? I mean, if the filing date for the next meeting, is December 21st, then it would seem to me that we should be able to pick up those minutes within the next couple of days after December 21st, or have them mailed to us, so that we would, we can actually talk with the homeowner instead of, like I said, this was very rushed, and I think there might have been other people who might have visited the project if they could have made more time.
Mhm.
So, I will just say I would have a mailing concern the week from the 21st because that is Christmas week. So if we were to use our mailing system, that has, we've seen delays in the mail. We'll just put it that way.
What I'm saying is, though,
We can certainly, if they're here, we can have them done on the 22nd.
if you have COAs that are received by December 21st, if you send us an email and say, these are the COAs that we have, if you would like to come by and pick them up, we can pick them up. You know what I'm saying? That would be at least easier than, what?
I like that. This is Andra. I like that.
I think what Maureen is saying is she doesn't have enough time from December 21st until our meeting to actually make the copies and go through it. So maybe we should have the cutoff before December 21st. Maybe we should look at that.
Well, but
There
this
you
is
go.
an unusual situation because it's the holiday month.
No, I know, but it's still only 2 weeks before the
Right.
meeting.
Right.
If the meeting's held on January 4th, it's exactly 2 weeks prior. And by the time she gets it, the 21st, and she looks at it, if we got it by the 25th, we'd be lucky.
Right.
Nobody's going to get it on the 25th.
Well, that's if she mails them all, but if at least she sent us a notice and said, these are the COAs that we have applied for.
Now, how long do you?
I'll add it to my calendar to do it on the 21st or 22nd to
And then it's up to us if we need to.
printing
get it.
them.
Right, absolutely. That's fine. If she can do it by then, that would be great to know by the 22nd or 23rd.
Yeah.
We did just get a part-time person in the office who's a student, so she may have more availability that week as well. So I may be able to work into the routine of her at the office of when we get historic district applications, immediately make the copies.
Yeah.
So that then they can be batched immediately.
Yeah.
That's
But I'm saying there
That
are,
probably will work really well,
Yeah.
actually.
All right.
She's here
We'll
on Mondays,
find
she's
something
here
else.
on Wednesdays, in that week, I would certainly want it, in this particular instance, where the 24th, 25th were off, and I believe
the 31st and
the 31st, we leave at 4:30, and we're off the 1st, so there's a limited days there. So, if I can, make it on her to-do list for that week, to make the copies as soon as they come in, then we can,
Right.
have them available to do, and I'll even, do my best to send out an email that says, we have these applications, here's the digital copy, who wants printed copies?
That's it.
We'll make the printed copies for those who want them and then tell me
Yeah.
whether you want them picked up or dropped in the mail or delivery is really difficult, but we do what we have to do to get things out and disseminate.
We
as
can come here and get them if we need to, and that's better than not getting them at all.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, well, I want to thank everybody for taking time out of their evening tonight and for other people for getting a chance to go out and visit with these homeowners. So do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second it.
Richard seconds, all in favor? Bill?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey, Bill.
Hi, sorry, apparently I showed up just at the most opportune time.
Yes.
I was a little delayed, and when I finally got my laptop working, it's 8 o'clock, so my apologies.
That's all right, we understand. So thank you very much for your time and your service, Bill, and everybody will see you next year.
All right, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Okay, yeah, Merry
Stay
Christmas.
healthy and well.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.